Hey everybody, Joe here with 360 Comics. On Saturday morning, I woke up before 6 a.m. to head on over to New Jersey and meet up with Jim from Bronzeville Comics to go check out some estate sales. If you like what you see in this video, you can help support the channel for absolutely free by hitting that subscribe button, ringing the bell for notification, giving us a thumbs up for the like, and leaving a comment down below. And don't forget to also head on over to Instagram and check us out there. So this past weekend was Halloween, and I originally had some plans to go visit some family down in Richmond, Virginia, but unfortunately that fell through last minute. But I was able to salvage the weekend and do some comic hunting with Jim from Bronzeville. If you don't follow his channel, you definitely need to. And I'm actually going to put a link in the description down below because Jim is making a video from our estate sale haul as well. And you should definitely check it out. So finish this video up and go watch his. Anyway, I've been talking with him a bunch recently about estate sales. And he had found two on the Saturday this weekend that were really, it was less than 2 miles between the two. I think about 1.5 miles apart, which was great. And they also had a little bit of a staggered start time. One started at 9 a.m. and the other one started at 10. Now we got there well before 9 a.m. and we luckily were the first people on site. And there was a little sign up sheet that you could sign up because they were only taking a couple people in at a time. It turned out that the first one wasn't exactly an estate sale per se. It was more like an indoor yard sale. The owner had a bunch of collectibles, comics, and things like that kind of arranged in their living room of their apartment. And I guess you could kind of call it an estate sale, but to me, it felt more like a yard sale that just happened to be indoors. Bunch of people showed up before 9. Like I said, Jim and I were the first ones, so we were the first ones to go in, but along with a couple other people, and everyone was grabbing things. Let's check out what we got at the first stop. We're going to go in ascending value order with this one and start at the lowest and go higher up. So right here we've got the Amazing Spider-Man number 167. Yeah, 167. And this is the first appearance of Will-O-the-Wisp, and the seller had this marked for $1. I really don't pick this book up for too much more than that. You know, it pretty typically goes for $5 to $15, I think, depending on condition. But for $1, picking up this like medium level Bronze Age key, yeah, sure, why not? The cool thing about this one, though, is it has this diamond up here. For a while, they were, I think it was a certain distributor. I actually forget the story behind the Bronze Age diamond, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, a certain distributor, it starts with a W, and I can't remember, Wilson or something like that, I believe had these diamonds. If you know what that is, refresh my memory. Leave it in the comments down below. And, you know, inform me and inform the rest of the comic book community. But yeah, pretty nice pickup for $1. Also purchased for just $1, another Bronze Age kind of like lower middle key. We've got Marvel Team Up number 68 with Spider-Man and Man-Thing. And this is the first appearance of Despair. At least I think it's pronounced Despair. It's like Despayre. I think that's how you spell it. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced Despair. If you know otherwise, leave that one down in the comments below. Again, not a book worth very much, probably in that same like $5 to $15 range as the last book. But again, picking it up for $1, Bronze Age key, why not? I think I already actually have a copy of this one, so I'm going to figure out which one is in the higher grade, keep that one, and sell the other. Next up, we've got a really popular storyline from the Claremont run of X-Men. This is the second of 2 books in the Days of Future Past run, which was adapted to a movie and has just been a fan favorite since, you know, the time it came out, I guess in the early to mid 80s. Yeah, this book really popped out at me. I saw it. I immediately pulled it out. It was marked at $15. I think I got a couple bucks shaved off of it through bundling these together. But definitely a great book to pick up. It's not in the highest grade, but I'm always looking for these X-Men keys, especially with them coming to the MCU. I don't think we'll see another Days of Future Past movie just because it was already done. But this storyline will always be popular and is one of my favorites as well. So I was happy to grab this book. Wrapping up this first estate sale, we've got X-Men number 99, the final double-digit issue, a Claremont book, the first appearance, I believe, in cameo of Black Tom Cassidy, and a really great cover with Magneto on it. This is a lower grade copy. You can see on the cover there is a little bit of looks like marker or something right there, and there's plenty of spine ticks. But the seller had this marked at only $15. I was definitely happy with this price. I looked on eBay, and most of the lower mid-grade copies were selling for either slightly below or slightly above $100. And there was a copy with the part of the corner ripped off, a notable inch chunk of the corner ripped off that sold for around $75. This probably is in that kind of range, somewhere between $50 and $80. I was kind of worried that there was going to be pages missing or something like that, or a detached centerfold, but I went through the book when I got home, and the inside actually looks really nice, especially compared to the outside. The staples are still reasonably tight as well, no rust or anything, so I was really stoked about this, especially because I don't have this book yet, and I'm currently working on collecting the entire Claremont run. I have most of the later stuff, but as far as the late 90s, well, I have most of the books in the 90s, but it's really most of the early hundreds are the ones that I'm missing, including 101, which is a pretty pricey book. So this was a great pickup all around. I really like this. Definitely one of my favorite books of the day. Immediately after purchasing my books from the first stop, I wanted to head right over to the second one. It was probably about 9:20, 9:30 at this point, and the next sale was starting at 10 o'clock, so again, I wanted to be a little bit early and make sure that I beat the crowds. I didn't want to tip anyone there off to us going to another estate sale because I didn't want a big crowd coming over. So I kind of covertly said to Jim, all right, I'll meet you at the brunch spot. I want to get some avocado toast. And he knew what I meant. And shortly thereafter, he followed me over. And we went to the second spot, which again was at someone's home. And it kind of was more like a yard sale than an estate sale. But interestingly enough, I get chatting with the guy. And he is a retired Marvel and DC writer who has writing credits on, he said, around 1,000 comic books. His name is Mike Polowski, and he's located right in New Jersey. And he has worked with some of the greats over the years. Can't remember all the names off the top of my head, but, he listed a lot of popular artists and writers that he has worked with and worked under. Really nice guy. And he had some cool books. He had some stuff for cheap. So we'll start with the dollar bin stuff. We got Dennis the Menace book here from the Silver Age, number 94. I like picking up the Silver Age cheap stuff when I can, just because even though this isn't like a coveted book or anything, the price of this book will eventually go up. It is old. It's actually in pretty nice shape. So for $1, you can't really go wrong. Even if it just stays a dollar book forever, you're really not losing much. And I like Dennis the Menace as a kid, so this was the first thing I picked up. To go along with that first book, we got another Dennis the Menace, number 121 from later in the Silver Age. And the thing that really stuck out about this book to me, not only is it in really nice shape, but it's got Mr. Wilson on the cover. He's the iconic neighbor character that Dennis is always bothering. And he's kind of like, if you've ever seen either of the movies, he was like just as much of a feature as Dennis himself. Same with the cartoon show from when I was a kid. I really liked watching that in my Saturday morning cartoon phase. But yeah, another great pickup for just $1. The last of the $1 books, I kind of picked this one up blind. I knew nothing about it, but it's a Bronze Age #1. It's the Western Kid #1 from the, let's see, it's a 20 center, so probably like the mid-70s. I'm not a huge Western fan or anything like that, but I figured, shot in the dark, I'll pay $1 for this book, and, maybe it'll sit for a while, but maybe someone will want it, someone who's into Westerns, pick it up for like $5 or so. It's in decent shape. It does have some discoloration around the outside, but hey, for $1, can't go wrong. Next up, I paid just $5 for this copy of X-Men number 11, iconic Jim Lee cover, and actually the last book that he worked on in this run. And not only that, but it's a newsstand. And in the 90s, newsstands, much, much more rare, especially in high grade. This copy is not by any means in high grade. It's got some spine ticks and things like that. But for $5, can't really go wrong with this great cover. I gotta check if I have a newsstand yet. If I do and it's in better condition, I'll probably, replace, pick which one is in better condition, keep that one, sell the other. But either way, I'm happy with this purchase. I know I said I was done with the $1 purchases, but I forgot because this book is worth more than $1, but I did spend $1 on it. It's Tech World #1, and recently this has been kind of a spec book, and I think there was some announcement about it being optioned or maybe even picked up already, but this issue #1, I've seen it selling between $10 and $15 online. And I've picked up a couple copies recently from dollar bins, just because it was just a $1 book before the recent news. So definitely a book to look out for if you're looking for those low entry point spec books. Tech World 1 might be the one for you. If I remember correctly, I paid $3 for this X-Force #8. This is the first appearance of Domino. It's got her right on the cover here as well. And, she's a character who was in Deadpool 2, and I could see her coming over to the MCU along with Deadpool. Certainly not every character from those first 2 movies are going to make their way into MCU movies, but Domino and Cable would be the 2, if any, that would come over. So I'm kind of hoping. I really, really liked the actor who portrayed her, and I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but I thought she did a really great job. And she's a cool character from this X-Force runs, well, New Mutants X-Force. And I'd like to see her in some MCU movies, or at least in Deadpool 3. So, for $3, great pickup for her first appearance. Another book from the $5 bin, we've got Grendel, Volume 2, #1. And this is the first appearance of the second Grendel, the female version of the character. And I know there was some recent news about Grendel. I think it was picked up. I think it's beyond the optioned point. Maybe it was just optioned. I forget. But either way, I know the first appearance of Grendel from Volume 1. And I think it was actually the first appearance was in a book before that. The second appearance is in Volume 1 of Grendel. But those books have gone up a bunch. The female version of the character has spiked up a little bit. I think this is selling for about $15 or $20 at this point. But yeah, either way, I'm happy to have it. Are we going to ever see the female character incorporated? Who knows? Definitely could happen, but for $5, I wasn't going to not pick this up. And it wasn't until I got home that I realized not only not only number one, but there was a copy of number two in the same bag and board. I actually have this whole run already. I have the complete run, so I'm going to compare these and get rid of whatever the lower grade copy is. So if you're looking for these books, let me know. Now we've got a book that I've spoken about in a couple of my videos before. We've got The Amazing Spider-Man 365. And the key significance of this, other than this very 90s cover with the hollow foil thing in the middle. I just realized something. Just looking at this now, I'm realizing that the picture inside is an homage to Amazing Fantasy 15. I had never noticed that before. I just put that together live on cam. You just watched my head explode. Anyway, this book, the key significance here is that it has a preview of Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara. It's a 5-page preview, I believe. And a lot of people gravitate to this book rather than his first full appearance, which is in Spider-Man 2099 number 1. And personally, I like the first solo book better as a first appearance because it's a real appearance. I don't typically consider previews to be first appearances. They're similar to a cameo, but some people do. This book is more valuable. Probably because it might have been printed less. I don't actually know the print counts, but I should definitely look at that up and check out, especially how many are in a 9.8 compared to the Spider-Man 2099 number 1. I feel like I see 2099 number 1s more often than I see this book, so maybe it was a larger print count. Maybe these have just been bought up. Who knows? But either way, that's the key significance of this book. That's a character that I myself and a lot of other people have been speculating on due to his end credit scene at the end of Into the Spider-Verse. I think we're going to see him in the second movie in a more, important role. But we'll have to wait and see until that comes out. Either way, this was a great pickup. A higher grade copy. I paid $15 for it. Typically, I see these selling anywhere from $20 to $40. So, I thought it was a great buy, and I have a couple of them already. I probably will just hold on to them due to, the speculation on the character. You saw it already in the beginning of the video. You knew it was coming eventually. We've got Man-Thing number 1. From Volume 1, his first solo title. He does have a solo story that he's in, a couple stories actually prior to this, but it's under the Adventures into Fear title. So this is his first solo title, and great book to have. Bronze Age horror, kind of Marvel's version of Swamp Thing. They came out right at the same time, and interestingly enough, their creators, Swamp Thing and Man-Thing, one a DC character and one a Marvel character, they were roommates at one point, and what I have heard at least is that they developed this character together and then both went off and did their own things. Obviously they're very similar, but they're not exactly the same. They have their own spins on it, and that shows. Swamp Thing has definitely become the more fan favorite character as compared to Man-Thing, but there's a lot of people out there that love the Bronze Age Marvel horror. Definitely one of them. You guys probably saw my Tomb of Dracula 1 that I just picked up recently, and this is another great book to go for that Bronze Age horror collection. I've got his first solo appearance. I've got his number 1 of Volume 2, and a bunch of other keys. I got to get that first appearance eventually, but it's in magazine form, and it's a little harder to come by. I don't think I've ever seen one in person or realized that I've seen it at least, just because it's a little harder to come by. But yeah, great pickup. I paid $40 for this. I was looking online, and I think it's probably an 8.0 or an 8.5, and the recent 8.5s have sold for just over $200, with the 8.0s coming in at just under $200. So I'm hoping I'm correct about the grade on this book. I'm definitely going to give it a nice clean and press before I send it off. But I definitely want this thing slabbed up. It's a nice looking book. The colors are great on it. And, Man-Thing's an awesome character. Will we ever see him in the MCU? I don't know. Who knows? It's always, especially with these horror characters, maybe I think it's harder now that Disney owns Marvel. I feel like if Marvel was its own entity and really making it all of its own decisions, we would probably see these characters come up. But not sure, given that Disney owns the property now, but maybe, I think, we're getting Moon Knight. Could that lead to Werewolf by Night? And could that lead to some of the other horror characters, the monster characters? Maybe. We know we're getting Morbius. That is a Sony film, but as we know, there's some crossover between Sony and the MCU at this point, and maybe that portal between those two worlds are gonna keep getting bigger, and we'll get some more of those characters over. So who knows? Either way, great Bronze Age horror book, and I'm happy to have it. 9 out of 10 times I would be telling you guys that this Man-Thing book is my favorite book out of the haul. But I got a Claremont X-Men book that I did not own yet, so that's got to top the list. We got X-Men number 99 right here. First cameo appearance of Black Tom Cassidy, and a great addition to my X-Men run that I did not have yet. Stoked about it. Anyway, now that you're done watching my video, I want to, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and leave a comment on your way out. But before you leave, make sure you go down to that description below and click on the link there for Jim's video. Watch it as well and subscribe to him at Bronzeville Comics. He puts out some great videos and recently had an absolutely insane estate sale haul that you need to check out if you haven't yet. Just a reminder, I will be at Super Jersey Comic Expo, and I do have a booth there, booth 407. You can find me. There's kind of like two rooms. One is the bigger room, and looks like I'm right as you walk into that room from the smaller section. So you should be able to find me pretty easily. Come say hi, maybe grab a book or two. And I also have a free giveaway that I'm doing for all of my YouTube subscribers. All you have to do, show me that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you get a ticket to enter. I haven't decided on a prize yet, but it'll be good, I promise. And I'll pick a winner by the end of the day. So hopefully, if you are still there, you can grab it from me. If not, I will, of course, ship it out to you. So I hope to see you guys there. That is on November 6th in Holmdel, New Jersey. Super Jersey Comic Expo. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching the video again. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.